almost the end of December now in the garden, and the garden is still looking pretty good here in South Wales. So I thought I'd take you around the garden today and show you some of my favourite evergreen plants and see what I've been up to in the middle of winter. Although I love a tropical style garden, my garden is not just a summer garden. It's a place where I can go and relax and enjoy my time for 12 months of the year. It's a place where I can go just to clear my mind from the day-to-day stresses of the world. And to be able to do this, I plant lots of evergreen plants, just to give year-round interest in the garden. Nobody likes looking at just bare soil throughout the winter months, so by planting a lot of evergreen plants, that allows me just to have a lot of green colour throughout the drab weather of the deep winter. I could spend hours just going through some of my favourite plants here in the garden, but I'm just going to pick just a few of my favourites and just take you through the garden and show you some of the best performing evergreens that I have here in South Wales. So I've been out today just having a little bit of a rejig of the Belfast Sink, and I've kept most of the plants that I put in here originally. You can see that I moved the Photinia over to the right hand side, and I've kept the cyclamen at the front there. But what I've done, I haven't bought anything else, but I've moved the ivy over to the middle, added in a bit of heuchera for colour. I have no idea what this plant is here on the end, but I just took this out of one of my other planters, and this has stayed evergreen, so I don't know what it is, but it does trail and give some lovely flowers in the summer. And just at the back, I've just added a little bit of a small skimmia. I already had this in the garden, and I just thought that that would add some nice winter colour into the Belfast Sink. So, looking over to this side of the pathway, this fern here has done extremely well. So the little autumn fern that I bought, I've just planted along the front of this border here. And hopefully now this will grow and it'll do quite well here. The Irish green grass that I bought, I just popped underneath this rhododendron bush here. And this bush has done a lot better since I moved it against the fence. If you remember, this was in the centre of the garden, and I was having a lot of trouble with the buds not forming properly, and they were going brown and just generally dying off before they had a chance to form. But this year, you can see that the buds are forming beautifully. So with a bit of luck, we'll have lots of lovely blooms come springtime. The Amaryllis now is really coming into flower, and just look how beautiful that looks. I've never grown these before, but I'll definitely be growing these again. And still plenty more to come too. There's another 2 flowers there waiting to open. The Phormium that we've got in the corner here, this has done extremely well this year. And if you remember, this plant had to be cut right back down to the base at the beginning of the year, round about March, April time. And it has just come through this summer remarkably well. All this growth, this has come back in one season, and it's now got to be close on 4 to 5 foot tall. And I'm so glad that this has done so well, because this is one of my favourite plants in the garden, and this is a Phormium tenax. I'm loving this plant in the garden at the moment, and this is a Euphorbia mellifera, and it's coming now into flower. And just look at those there. Absolutely beautiful plant this is, and I really do like euphorbias in the garden. No winter protection whatsoever, and it just comes through without any problems every year. And I think this plant has been in now for about 2 years, and it has grown really large. When I get a chance, I've really got to come out and sort out this euphorbia here. It's a beautiful plant. This is a silver swan, but you can see all the new growth there at the bottom. And most of the old plant, although it's looking really healthy, that has grown into quite a funny shape. Although saying that, I might just leave it to do its thing and see how it goes. This one here is another example of a Euphorbia silver swan, and what a beautiful colour on this. Definitely one of my favourites in the garden. You can't beat a Euphorbia for a nice winter plant. The crocosmia in the garden are really dying back now, but they do give some lovely winter colour into the garden. The Trachycarpus are still looking good in the garden, and they have survived the storm from the other week. I love the leaves on these, and it's beautiful to see them in some winter sunshine. A beautiful sight in the garden. Ground cover plant that I popped in the borders a few weeks ago, that's really perked up now and has started to fill out a little bit. It won't grow much now over the winter months, but hopefully it'll settle down, ready to put on some growth next spring. The Yucca Rostrata, that has put on a lot of size now through this year, and it's really loving it by the back door. in its terracotta pot. We've still got one lonely flower of the salvias just coming to the end. One of my favourite plants in the garden for winter interest has to be a Fatsia Japonica. And just look at these glossy green leaves. I've also got the Polycarpa, which is known as green fingers, and that one is just hidden away underneath the original Fatsia. You also can't beat these plants in the garden for adding winter structure. 12 months of the year. Beautiful plants. And these also look good through the winter months. And this is a Pittosporum. This is a Pittosporum Tom Thumb. And I've also got a Pittosporum Tom Thumb down the bottom end of the garden. And this one is about 2 years old. And it's really grown in size since I put it in. Beautiful plants, these. And this plant, this one's a new addition. This is a Pittosporum golf ball. And lovely green, evergreen leaves on this plant. Beautiful. My Schefflera Taiwaniana is also looking good throughout the winter months. And let's hope this will stay untouched until next year. This is a Photinia red robin, and this comes out in beautiful red striking foliage which really adds interest to the garden. I've got a few of these in the garden, and they also come in different varieties. This one here is a pink crispy, and they always seem to do really well in my garden. And to finish off, I can't really talk about evergreen plants in the garden without giving a special mention to the bamboos. These are really beautiful plants in the garden, and I've got lots of these, all of them in my garden. The ones that are planted are all clump forming, so I haven't got to worry about anything running around where I don't want them to go. You also can't forget the grasses in the garden. And I've also put them along the front of some borders, just to soften up the edges of the pathways. You also can't beat a Nandina in the garden, and these are totally evergreen, and they take on a beautiful bronze and fiery red colours throughout the winter months. And if you can see there, it's got some beautiful red berries on it at the moment. I've got a few of these in my garden, and they really are a beautiful specimen plant. This will probably be the last time now that I'll see you before Christmas. So I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.